Welcome to our exploration of Deleuzian economics and the duality of abstraction. We are navigating the transition from analytic reductionism, our traditional, rigid framework of grid logic and quantifiable units, to synthetic holism, where fluid dynamics and molecular abstraction prioritize organic flow and emergent properties. This is a move from the static to the dynamic. To understand the current intellectual landscape, we must look at the spectrum of thought. On one end, we have the modern, molar, and actual realm rooted in reductionism and strong representation, focusing on categorizing the observable world. On the other end lies the postmodern, molecular, and virtual, which expands our perception into the transcendental, non-representational dimensions of reality. The architecture of molar abstraction is an academic method designed to build clear boundaries. It rests on three foundations: strong molarity, which views the world at a macro-actual dimension; representationality, which limits knowledge to what is perceptible and describable by language; and the golden rules, which enforce parametrization to trace causal relationships. How does molar abstraction distill reality? It uses four pillars: the identity of the concept, which seeks irreducible essences; the analogy of judgment, which links those essences; the opposition of predicates, which defines things by what they are not; and the resemblance of the perceived, which groups entities into types. Together, these form the actual body of molar thought. This leads us to the method of majoritarian science. Its goal is to generalize individual instances into necessary laws. It works by extracting variables from experience to derive constants and equations. The final result is a system of essential elements and models that prioritize predictable regularities over individual difference. The engine of this molar thought is what we call function. Whether it is a mathematical equation in physics or the predictable role of an organelle within a cell, function focuses on the distinct, measurable role an entity plays within a closed, static system. In contrast, the architecture of molecular abstraction embraces synthetic holism. It targets the imperceptible, the intensive, virtual origins of things that are difficult to pin down with conventional language. Here, we aim to extract the problem itself rather than seeking a fixed solution, opening a path into the non-representational. We must move beyond mere designation. Indication, or pointing at objects, limits us to what is already actualized. Drawing on Spinoza, we look to expression, a way of pushing language to its extreme to capture the virtual, intensive origins of the real. This is the method of minoritarian science. It practices absolute deterritorialization, endlessly questioning to find new horizons. It employs continuous variation, keeping variables in flux rather than locking them into constants, and it moves beyond quantification to focus on the singularities, the unique conditions of human events. Consider the repetition of difference. The molar illusion tells us that repetition is simply the permanence of the identical. But molecular reality reveals that movement is actually the repetition of difference itself. Identity and similarity are not the goal, they are merely temporary effects of a deeper, singular reality. The engine of this molecular world is fonctionnement. Unlike the fixed, mathematical function, fonctionnement is a dynamic, unscripted process of emergence. It is the core of Deleuzian thought, explaining spontaneous phenomena like biological evolution and the origins of complex systems. We must rethink the relationship between the general and the universal. The molar approach pursues generality by ignoring the margins of the majority. The molecular approach, however, pursues singularity and universality simultaneously. True universality is not about fitting the majority, it is about the creative realization of every unique singularity. This table synthesizes our two lenses. From philosophical roots in reductionism versus holism, to the contrast between the fixed function and the emergent fonctionnement, we can see how the molar lens seeks generalization, while the molecular lens pursues the deeper, problematic nature of reality and the repetition of difference. Applying this to economics, we see a new postmodern vision. Pillar 1 is universal basic income, providing a molar baseline for existence. Pillar 2 is economic democracy, the molecular framework that enables continuous variation and the pursuit of unique, individual desires. Together, they form a system that supports both existence and expression. We are moving toward a new horizon of thought. Molecular abstraction is not just about expanding our minds, it is about problematizing the world as we know it. By pursuing the continuous variation of events, we can unlock a reality where true universal singularity, not just majority consensus, can finally emerge.